Hi, I'm Greg Jeffers. The internet is filled with disasters du jour. I want to offer you a positive vision for the future. Not the future of the world or even the future of America. That's just too broad a field for the human mind to have a genuine and meaningful impact. There are far too many committed multiculturalists who wish to get even with creation and are willing to sabotage every effort because they suffer from deep-seated feelings of inadequacy, deviancy, and self-loathing. People of good conscience must not waste the limited time we have. Please watch this video of the pack of wilding animals in Chicago last week setting upon a young woman and beating her nearly to death. I think this video is the last nail in the coffin for the race and gender apologists of the Post-Modernist and Marxist political class. And though it is a terrible thing that happened to this young woman, I think it is a watershed moment for America and the West. But brace yourself.
Black crowd. That is what is happening here. Somebody posted this on their Instagram page, I believe, or on YouTube, and said, "Yay, we get active." This is what it means to get active, apparently, in Chicago, is for a black crowd to beat the living hell out of a young white woman, is what this looks like here. That is a young white woman trying to get into her building, and now they're just going to beat the living out of her. Truly evil behavior here, obviously. And look at that guy's sweatshirt, antisocial social club. Like, people are coming to do this sort of stuff. Like, people are gathering. They are coordinating with one another to do these sorts of things.
So without further ado, here is part one of an action list for a positive vision of the future. Accept that there is no macro solution. The Titanic just sank and you are in the water and it is freaking cold and you have to swim. That's where you are. At this moment, it is not a group effort yet. Right now, you are disoriented and scared. You can throw your hands up and succumb to the cold and drown, or you can swim. Okay, you've decided to swim. You are so disoriented that you don't know exactly what you are swimming away from. You have been indoctrinated your entire life with this fairness and inclusion and equity nonsense. But you've just watched dozens of people set upon a helpless young woman to kill her in a major American city. You can't believe what your eyes are seeing, that the woman who was getting her head stomped in attended the same protest marches as you. She was as woke as you. And there she lies, bleeding. Blood pours from every orifice in her head. And so you swim. But that's the past. You are about to cross into a positive vision for the future. That's the lifeboat you are swimming towards now. But when you get to the lifeboat, you see the other people surround it, and like you, none of them can seem to pull themselves out of the cold water to the safety of the lifeboat. All the people within reach of the lifeboat are drowning right there within sight of their deliverance. They are drowning because they've got a backpack filled with bricks made from indoctrination, pulling them down into the abyss. It's a moonlit night, and you can see people sinking below, reaching up for help, only to drag another innocent person below into the void. You can see them going down, their bodies lifeless, clutching their backpacks with their precious cargo of indoctrination. You can hear the bubbles of their last words as they drown, or get their heads stomped in on a Chicago sidewalk. Fairness, equity, inclusion. With one last rush of adrenaline, you burst above the water's surface and you see other people sitting in the boat, exhorting the people in the water to cast off their backpacks filled with those bricks. Some people do so and are hauled into the boat by those on board, and others shake their heads and perish with a death grip on that backpack. That, my friends, is every millennial and Gen Y who saw the Chicago video of the young woman being beaten by those animals. You either believe with what your eyes are seeing or you drown. This is my appeal to the survivors. And if you're watching this video, you're a survivor. You are in that lifeboat headed to shore. What will you do when you get there? Will you return to the insanity and board another Titanic, pick up another backpack, and slog through life with this silly burden? Or set out for the new world? That's your choice. The siren song of the urban elite, a childless and atomized existence with a work family, professional friends, and a closet-sized apartment in a concrete jungle. You don't need a mate or children there. You've got your work family. Life is an endless procession of work in front of screens, restaurant food, alcohol, designer drugs. But you do get a couple of long-distance vacations to decompress every year. Then, in your 40s, when your youth and beauty are no longer with you, long gone, you get an insufficient severance package and you are cast to the winds alone. My evidence? How many people move to New York City, Chicago, LA, or Miami to settle down, have 3 children, a puppy, and a cute little house with a little white picket fence? None. They go there to play and party until they age out and are shown the door with their fingernails digging in the carpet as they are dragged away by Father Time. By the time the participants in this socioeconomic framework have shaken off the lies, both lies they heard and those they tell themselves, it is too late to right the ship. They are no longer capable of forming stable families as they are addicted to the rush of whatever. My evidence? Fertility is so low in these frameworks that the system must import replacement adults because they didn't raise them internally. And I assure you, this system is self-correcting. It's like a self-cleaning oven. One way or another, our society will produce children again. Now, whether that's in 2025 or 2050 is a separate issue, but I'm talking about you, not society. So who led our young people down this path of self-destruction and eventual extinction? The people who are fundamentally incapable of forming families and the kinds of relationships that produce children. In their anger and rage at existence, and in an effort to get even with creation and their fathers, they have seized control of our institutions and hobbled our economy with senseless credentialism to force young people through their indoctrination bottleneck, the university system, and into a lifetime of debt servitude. But that is an easy fix. The great post-Enlightenment philosopher Soren Kierkegaard famously said that no matter what you do, you will regret it. The quote is a bit longer than that, so I will summarize. We must choose our regrets. I don't care what the song says, none of us gets to live a regret-free life. If the history of the past 50 years has proved anything, it is that you cannot have it all. Life is a series of compromises, and here's a positive vision of that. You can have some control over your compromises, and you are likely to have a far better outcome than if you accept the compromises that others force upon you. So here's a positive vision for the future. We will think for ourselves again. Those who choose their regrets and then live the life they've chosen will have far better outcomes in life satisfaction than those who do not. Right now, as I see it, there are 2 Americas, the United Cities of America and the United Counties of America, or flyover land, as the elites like to call it. The socioeconomic framework of the elite living in the United Cities of America is to import the children produced by the United Counties of America to the maw of, and listen closely, almost elite employment. Now 2, 3, maybe 4% will enjoy elite employment and a career. Everyone else gets a job. The ratio is not that much different in flyover land, that is, the United Counties of America, but this model of urban elites refusing to replace themselves and endure the rigors and burdens of parenting with children no longer has the demographic fuel required to continue business as usual. The United Counties no longer produce enough children to make up for the birth dearth in the United Cities. The elites believed they could count on international immigration to make up for that shortfall. Not only has this not worked out according to plan, but most of the rest of the world no longer has 3rd and 4th sons, that is, spare sons, to send us. First sons are much less likely to abandon their families, and that is exactly what the elite has done to the families of the immigrants. Think about it. For every elite white woman who refuses to have children, a non-elite woman must make up the difference. If that does not happen, society implodes. Who, pray tell, is going to take care of all of the elderly, childless feminists in 20 years? The children of other people. And this is going to be a huge issue in the coming years. We are going to have childless femsexists stacked up in nursing homes like cordwood. And no one is coming to visit these women because the only people who care about old people is their family. And if you don't have a family, no one cares about you. But there is good news here and a positive vision for the future. People are figuring this out. The world isn't coming to an end, but many family lines are coming to an end. You don't have to be among them. And here's another positive vision for the future. We've reached peak insanity. Woke apogee, the zenith for race and gender victim construction, etc. The mainstream media won't report on this, but this video has gone viral. And every thinking white, Asian, or Hispanic American woman who was part of this coalition will rethink that. They are going to identify with this unfortunate and innocent Chicago woke white woman getting her brains beat in. The pendulum is about to swing hard in the other direction. People of good faith must be conscious that that can go too far as well. I wrote a book a few years ago titled Duress Desire about the Chilean experience in the blowback from their socialist overreach during the Allende and Pinochet period. That is also to be avoided. People of good conscience must recognize that the pendulum can swing too far the other way. But that's enough for me today. Thank you. I'm Greg Jeffers for the American Quaker Friends Church.